Good morning, dear students. Hoping the best from you. I, Sarita Goyal, your bio teacher, will discuss with you with my next topic, transportation of chapter 6, life process from NCERT book. In my previous chapter, I discussed about respiration, that is the life process. Now coming to the next process, that is transportation. What is transportation? You must have heard about transportation, that the things are carried from one place to another. Now you must be wondering what is this transportation is doing in our body. Dear students, this transportation process is very much necessary in our body. What is transportation? It means circulation. That is, it is the process in which a substance absorbed in one part of the body of an organism is carried to other parts of the body. That is called circulation. Circulation of what? Circulation of blood. Of course, blood is very much important. It is the only connective fluid tissue present in our body. You have already learned about blood in your 9th class. Now, what is the function of blood? Blood transport food, oxygen and waste materials in our body. Clear? What is the function of blood? Blood transports food, oxygen and waste material in our body. Now, what does this blood contain? So, blood consists of a fluid medium called plasma, in which the cells are suspended. What are those cells which are present in our blood? You must have heard in your 9th class that RBC, red blood cells or corpuscles. WBC, white blood cells or white blood corpuscles. Then platelets. The platelets which play very important role, and in absence of, if the platelets are less in your body, they become less in your body, what is the disease caused? That is dengue, because the dengue protozoan, the virus which attacks on our immune system, it reduces the platelets. So platelets play a very important role in our body. Now coming to the functions of RBC and WBC. RBC is red blood cells. It contains the pigment called hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin carried oxygen to the different parts of the body. Next is WBC. WBC is white blood cells. It helps us to fight against diseases causing germs. It is known as the soldiers of the body. Then, now coming to the question, how does this blood circulate? For this, we need a pumping organ. What is that pumping organ? Can you tell me what is this pumping organ? This is heart. It pushes blood around the body. It consists of a network of tubes. Along with this network of tubes and tissues present in a system, it pumps the blood. It pushes the blood to all parts of the body. Right? Now, coming to the detail about heart. You know that heart is very small organ. It fits in adult fist. Fist means muthi. Right? So, heart, it is a very small organ. It is the size of your human fist. Now, this heart is a muscular organ. Right? It pushes the oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body. Now coming to the structure of the heart, this heart is four-chambered. Human heart, we are talking about human heart. This human heart is four-chambered heart. What are those four chambers? This is right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. So our heart consists of four-chambered right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. This separation of these four chambers, that is right and left, is very much necessary in our body. Why it is necessary? This is an important question. It is useful to keep oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from the mixing, right? So why these four chambers are necessary? Yeah, why there is a separation of right and left is necessary? To keep oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from the mixture. What is oxygenated? The blood which have oxygen, that is called oxygenated. What do you mean by deoxygenated? The blood which is not having oxygen but it is having carbon dioxide blood, right? Impure blood. Oxygenated blood is the pure blood and deoxygenated blood is the impure blood. So why this separation is necessary? Why we cannot afford mixing of the blood? It is very dangerous if the blood gets mixed in our body, because this separation allows efficient supply of oxygen to the body. That means we need a lot of oxygen. Why? Because of high energy needs, high energy demands. We use this energy to maintain our body temperature. As you know, we all are warm-blooded. So, we have to maintain our body temperature, and this separation of blood is necessary to fulfill our oxygen demand. Now, you can see that some of the animals like amphibians and reptiles, they have three-chambered heart because they tolerate some of the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Then energy needs are not as much as human being. Now coming to the fishes, these fishes have only two-chambered heart because the blood is pumped to the gills and the oxygen directly goes to the different parts of the body, right? Now, coming to the structure of human heart in detail, we have four-chambered as I discussed now. Now, this four-chambered, that is right atrium and right ventricle, is separated by walls. You are having here, I have written tricus. We are having two types of walls. One is tricuspid wall. You can write here PID, tricuspid. Like this, PID. We are having tricuspid and bicuspid wall. Two types of walls are present. And what are the function of these walls? If you are coming, this wall ensures that blood does not flow backward when the atria or ventricle contract. That this I will discuss right now. What is the function of walls in detail? Now, you can see the two portions of the heart. One is blue in color and one is red in color. Blue colors indicate deoxygenated blood, that is impure blood. And this red color indicates oxygenated blood, that is pure blood. Now, how our heart works? Coming to the main topic, the working of heart, right? So, impure blood from all parts of the body, you can see in this diagram, this impure blood from the body through vena cava reaches to the right atrium. Now, you can see here there are two vena cava. One is upper vena cava and another one is lower vena cava. This vena cava is called, upper vena cava is called superior vena cava and lower one, this one is called inferior vena cava. You can note down as U P E R I O, superior and inferior vena cava. Don't see my handwriting because I am writing with this cursor. Now, the impure blood from the body, from all parts of the body, come to the right atrium through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Right? Now, at the same time, the blood from the lungs, pure blood from the lungs, you can see in this diagram. These are the lungs capillaries. These are the alveoli capillaries in the lungs. From lungs, the pure blood comes to the heart at left atrium through pulmonary vein. So these pulmonary veins, they brings pure blood from the lungs capillaries, that is alveoli, to the left atriums. Now when these arteries, they receive the blood, they are in the relaxed form, right? So they are in the relaxed form. When these arteries get filled with the blood, that is right artery with the impure blood and left artery with the pure blood, automatically there is a we have nodes present over here. This nodes gives the instructions to the wall, and these walls get opened when these two arteries, that is atrium, filled with the pure blood or impure blood. Now when this wall get opened, these ventricles, they are in the relaxed position and these auricles contract. You have seen the beating of the heart, right? So heartbeat means you can hear the two kinds of sound. One is love and another one is dub. So when they relax, that is love sound, and when they contract, that is dub sound. So when they receives when the atrium receives the blood, they are in the relaxed position. But when they have to give the blood to the ventricles, they contract and ventricle get relaxed. And these walls, tricuspid and bicuspid wall, they get opened automatically. And blood, impure blood from atrium comes to the ventricle, and from left atrium come to the left ventricle. Clear? So when this blood comes to the ventricles from the atrium, the walls get closed. Why these walls get closed? In the opening, in the starting of the chapter, before starting the working of the heart, I told you there is a very much important function of walls, that it ensures the blood does not flow. Why? What is the function meaning of this line? Now when this blood comes to the ventricles, now this blood goes to the aorta. Impure blood goes to the pulmonary artery and pure blood goes to the aorta. Now how this goes? When this wall gets closed, right, you can see the arrow mark. This impure blood from the ventricle goes to the pulmonary artery, and this pulmonary artery carries this impure blood to the lungs. You can see in the diagram. This is pulmonary artery. It carries impure blood from the ventricles. Where? To the lungs. Right? For what purpose? To get purified. As I discussed in my respiration chapter, now these blood vessels, they contains impure blood. The concentration of carbon dioxide is high in the pulmonary artery. Right? Now this, when there is a difference in the concentration, this pure carbon dioxide goes to the alveoli, and from alveoli oxygenated blood comes to the pulmonary vein. At the same time, when this oxygenated blood comes to the heart from the lungs, from to left artery, and from left atrium it goes to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle it goes to the aorta, and aorta is the largest artery in your body. Name the largest artery. It is aorta. This aorta further divided into branches of different arteries which carries pure blood to the different part of the body. Clear? Again, I am repeating this process. When the impure blood from your body comes to the right atrium, and pure blood from the lungs through pulmonary vein come to the left atrium. When they are receiving the blood, they are in the relaxed position. Now, when they are full, there will be signal from SN node, right? And when the signals these walls get opened, and automatically the impure blood from atrium comes to the right ventricle, and from left pure blood from left atrium comes to the left ventricle. Clear? Now, when these are full, so these walls get automatically closed, and the impure blood goes to the pulmonary artery to the lungs, right? And pure blood goes to the aorta, so that it will be distributed in all parts of the body. Now, this was, if it doesn't get closed automatically, what will happen? Instead of going to the pulmonary artery, impure blood, and pure blood to the aorta, it can push back to the atrium, that is right atrium and left atrium. So what happened? The blood get mixed. So the function of this is very much important. It ensures that the blood does not flow backward. If it goes backward, your body parts doesn't get pure blood, right? So this valve play a very important role in our body. Now, this heart is a muscular system, muscular organ, right? So it has, this portion is called septum. This is dividing wall which separates arteries and veins. Then this heart is also covered with one more membrane that is called pericardium. You can note this outer membrane. This is called pericardium. Pericardium. This pericardium membrane, it protects the heart from external damage, right? So this is all about the heart, the working of heart. Now, I discussed with you this topic also. So what you have seen earlier. Now, this impure blood comes to the right side, and from right ventricle it goes to the pulmonary artery, and from pulmonary artery it goes to the lungs capillary. And again, what happened when this impure blood goes to the lung capillaries through pulmonary artery, it gets filtered over here, right? That means the carbon dioxide goes and oxygen blood comes to the where? Left atrium through pulmonary vein. Same blood, the blood is, you are not getting new blood always. This same blood which is having carbon dioxide goes to the lungs capillaries, get filtered, carried oxygen and comes to the left atrium. The same blood coming twice to the heart, right? Clear? The same blood coming twice to the heart, hence this process is called double circulation. What is double circulation? The same blood coming twice to the heart. First it comes in the form of impure blood. This impure blood through pulmonary arteries goes to the lungs, get filtered and comes to the left atrium through pulmonary vein. Since the same blood is coming twice, right? So it is called double circulation. Right? You must have heard. Now, coming to the next topic, must have heard about blood pressure. Right? What is this blood pressure? The force that blood exerts against the wall. Right? The force by which the force that blood exerts against the walls of the vessels. That is, there is a force of blood on our walls or our vessels, that is called blood pressure. Now, this blood pressure is of two types. One is systolic and another one is diastolic. Systolic, as you know, it is known as high blood pressure, low blood pressure, and the diastolic is known as high blood pressure. So what is your normal blood pressure? It is about 80 to 120 or 90 to 120. Normal blood pressure, low should be between 80 and 90 and high should be 110 and 120, not more than that. Right? This is the two types of blood pressure. Now, how you will measure the blood pressure? You have seen the machine for measuring the blood pressure. What is that? It is sphygmomanometer. Right? High blood pressure is known as hypertension. Right? If the blood is flow with a high pressure, it can lead to the ruptures of artery and internal bleeding. So, both high as well as low blood pressure is very harmful for our body. We should maintain our blood pressure. Now, coming to the how blood flows to the different parts of the body. Right? As I told you, aorta, which is the largest artery that carries pure blood, it is aorta. This carries pure blood and it distributes to all parts of the body. Now, how it distributes? With the help of arteries. These arteries are the branches of aorta which carries pure blood. And how the blood comes to the heart? Through veins, right? These veins brings. So, we are having three types of blood vessels, right? The tubes, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. So, what is the difference between arteries, veins and capillaries? Very much important question. Write the difference between arteries and veins. Normally, you will get the difference between arteries and veins. So, what are the arteries? Arteries are the vessels. First point, note down the differences between your arteries and veins in your notebook. It is very important question. Arteries carry pure blood, right here, pure blood, from heart to the different parts of the different organs of the body. Clear? First point is arteries, they carry pure blood away from the heart to various organs of the body. Right? Second point, what is the difference between veins? Veins carry impure blood. Note down the difference. Arteries carry pure blood, that is oxygenated blood, and veins carry impure blood, that is deoxygenated blood. Arteries carries pure blood from heart to various organs. Here veins carry from various organs to the heart. Clear? Have you noted your first difference? Arteries carries pure blood from the heart to the various organs of the body, and veins carry impure blood from different organs to the heart. Clear? Second, now the blood flows with pressure in arteries, more pressure, whereas the blood flows in veins with less pressure. Since the blood flows with high pressure in arteries, arteries are thick elastic walls. That means arteries have thick wall. Why? Because the blood flow with pressure, high pressure. Whereas in veins, the blood is not under pressure, so they are having thin walls. Right? Thin walls. Third difference is valves are valves are absent in arteries, whereas valves are present in veins so that blood flows only in one direction. What is the third difference? Valves are absent in arteries, valves are present in veins. Why it is present in veins? To prevent the backflow. They flow in only in one direction. That is very much important, necessary in our body. Now, these arteries further divided into smaller and smaller vessels to bring the blood in contact with all the individual cells. And these small vessels, they are very fine, that is, they are very narrow, right? They are in the contact with the individual cells. They are one cell thick, right? You have seen a narrow tube in front of water pipes, right? When you want to give the water to the plants, sometimes in front of the open of the where you are having opening of the pipe, you put a narrow tube. Just like we are having capillaries, right? They help in transferring the blood from organs to the tissues, right? These capillaries then join together to form veins that convey the blood from organs or tissue. Right? Clear? So these are the capillaries. These capillaries are very small vessels. They have one cell thickness. They bring blood in contact with all the individual cells. So this is the function of capillaries. So altogether we are having three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. Difference between arteries and veins are very much important. Note down your note from my explanation. I have given you three difference. If you want to note one more point, you can note. It is not given in the book, but you can write arteries become empty at the time of death. Why they become empty at the time of death? Because the heart doesn't beat and heart doesn't pump the blood. But veins are full of blood. Now, you have discussed the functions of RBC. RBC is having hemoglobin which carries oxygen, right? We have discussed the function of WBC. They are soldiers of our body. They fight against disease causing germs. Now, third components of blood is platelets. I discussed in starting also. These platelets, it plays very important role. We have to minimize its leakage. If the blood gets leakage, it reduces the efficiency of pumping system. Now these platelets which circulates around the body and plug these leaks. Plug these leaks ka matlab, what is the meaning of this? Plug these leaks. That means whenever your tissue get damaged, right, ruptured, after 1 or 2 minutes, you'll see some mesh-like structure, right? That is called fibrogen, right? That prevent the leaking of blood, and it help these platelets, they help in clotting the blood at the point of injuries. So these platelets, they it is a process how it help in clotting the blood, but in short I'm telling you, a fibrin like substance is produced by platelets, and they block the injury part of the injury and help in clotting the blood. Otherwise, if there are no platelets in your body or less platelets in your body, then you can't stop the flowing of blood. As a result, what happens? Lots of blood will flow and it will be very severe to your body. So these platelets have very much important role in our body. You must have heard about dengue disease. What happens? The platelets become less, and wherever you are having opening in your body, the blood comes out of this. So these platelets are very much important in our body. Next is lymph, right? This is also a type of fluid tissue, right? And it also involved in transportation. Now, question is, what is this lymph? What is the difference between blood and lymph? Blood is red in color because of the presence of hemoglobin. Lymph is pale yellow or colorless fluid. Why? Because hemoglobin is not present in this fluid tissue. Clear? So that is the main basic difference between blood and lymph. Blood is red in color due to the presence of hemoglobin. Lymph is pale yellow liquid because hemoglobin is absent. So what is that lymph? Whenever the blood flows, right? So sometimes through these pores, blood flows one part to the another part, right? So while flowing, this blood escapes. But what does hemoglobin do not escape. This blood, which is without hemoglobin. Lymph is a blood without hemoglobin. It contains some of the amount of plasma, that is fluid part, proteins, and blood cells. Blood cells, that is WBC and platelets, right? They escape into the intercellular space in the tissues. As you know, we are having spaces in between the tissues. You have already learned about tissues in your 9th class, right? So some of the space is present in between the tissues. So when the blood flows, it escapes. But while escaping, RBC is not escaping. So you are having a fluid tissue without hemoglobin, that is called lymph. So it contains plasma also, it contains proteins, and it contains blood cells, right? Clear? It is the similar to the plasma blood but colorless. Why it is colorless? Because of the absence of hemoglobin, right? And contains less protein as compared to blood. It contains less protein. So what is the difference between blood and lymph? Blood is colored, red colored, and lymph is colorless, right? Why? Because blood contains RBC also and lymph doesn't contain RBC, right? Next difference is in blood more amount of proteins are present, but in lymph less amount of protein is present. Now coming to the what is the function of lymph? While transporting, right, from one part to the another, what happens? They join to form large lymph vessels and finally open into large veins. What is the function? It carries digested and absorbed fat from intestine and drains excess of fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. Now, when when the blood is flowing, it escapes without RBC. When this lymph is flowing one part to the another, right? So, what is the function? The first function is it carries digested and absorbed fat from where? From intestine to the different parts of the body, and it drain. Sometimes what happens? Excess of fluid comes. As we know that if the excess of fluid removes from our body, it will be dangerous. So it will again sent into the blood. So the lymph helps, okay, will be sent to the blood again. Excess of lymph will be sent back to the blood. Clear? So this is all about the lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid. It is pale yellow in color, right? It contains plasma, less amount of protein, and blood cells except RBC, right? What is its function? It carries digested and absorbed fat, right? And drains excess of fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. So this is all about transportation in human being. Our next topic is transportation in plants that I will discuss with you in my next lecture. And students, tomorrow or on Monday, I will have a live discussion either on the Skype or on the Zoom. Whatever it is possible, I will try for that. And be prepared your first chapter of chemistry and have your doubts. Note down the doubts, whatever you are having in your chapter 1 of chemistry. We will discuss Monday on live, right? So whatever the problem, I'll solve that on that day. Clear? So I'll send you my ID and I'll tell you either on the Skype or on the Zoom. I'll try any one of that. So whosoever ever having this facility can join in that class and discuss your problems of chapter 1 chemistry that I have completed. Bio chapter is yet to be completed. One more topic is left, that is two more topic is left, transportation plants and excretion. After completing that topic, then I will have the live discussion of this chapter also. So prepare your first chapter, have your whatever doubts you are having, note down on your notebook, and you are free to ask all the doubts of that chapter on Monday at 9 o'clock, right? So goodbye, stay home, stay healthy.